Shem Tov says you have to learn. The Baal Shem Tov says you have to learn from everything you see. So this was something that really was really cool that happened yesterday, and I had a lot of hanoah from it. I went out with my wife hiking. We ended up leaving pretty late, like 4:00 LA. This is in the San Gabriel Mountains, so it's in back of Pasadena. It's about 45-minute drive. So we got there at 4:45. Baruch Hashem, the days are pretty long now, and this was a chunk of a hike. It was 5.6 miles,
Wow.
and it was with 1,600 feet elevation. So it was a good workout. It was gorgeous. I've never been to this area. I was in the area, but not at this place. It was really special. We're kriching and going, and it was more than really we can bite it, we can chew. But Baruch Hashem, we made it. Meanwhile, it was getting dark, but we made it mamish down to the car on time. But when we went in, I had seen a sign saying that this is like already like national park, not national park, but like national forest area. So this road, they say, is closes at 8 p.m. Meanwhile, the time I got back to my car, 8:15, I still didn't have a mincha. I was doing a bells and mincha when you could still do mincha when it's still something a little bit of light. And we got to the finally after this, I get to the car, I get to the gate, and in the back of my mind thinking, yeah, they don't close the gate at 8:00. There's no way, because there's always hikers. Lo and behold, the gate is locked and fartik, so we're stuck. You can't leave. It's like these roadblocks. It's closed. It's got a chain around it. You're not going anywhere. But there was one car in front of me, so I asked them what's going on. They said, yeah, we called. There's a sign there that says if you're stuck inside, call the sheriff, Altadena sheriff, whatever. So they said they called already, and the sheriff said they're sending someone. Fine, sending someone. They said when? We don't know if they're sending. So I get back into my car. Meanwhile, this girl who's in the car in front of me comes out and she says, but maybe you should also call because they didn't sound like they're in a rush. So I also called. I called, and the guy, sheriff's department, we're stuck. Yeah. Oh, yeah, we got a call already. Yeah. We have other things. We have other calls and other things. We'll send someone out. When we get to it. Okay, so I saw already we're going to be sitting over here. So I have to finish Rambam, this, that. I'm sitting there. My wife is doing her thing. I'm sitting there. We're sitting. 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Another car comes behind me. There's like an Indian guy or a Pakistani guy, and he I see is fighting with the sheriff, whatever. And nothing. He comes back to me and he says, the sheriff said that they sent someone already, and he was there 2 minutes ago, and so now they're not going to send someone till a long time. We said, what do you mean? We were here already 20 minutes. No one was here. So he said, okay, call a second time. So I called them now a second time. And same thing. And I realized the guy is literally not in a rush. He tells me, we'll see to it when we'll get to it. I guess the guy was enjoying the fact that we were stuck. He says, well, there was a sign there that says we close at 8. So I realized I might be sitting there till 10 o'clock at night. Who knows? Whenever they'll decide to send someone, it could be in 3-4 hours. So, but what should I do? There's nothing we can do. We're in the car. We're sitting and waiting. Suddenly, the fourth car comes up behind. This guy, suddenly, I see the guy get out of the car. He's got like this tank top and full of tattoos on his hands. I see him walk down to the gate, taking a look. He goes running back to his car. I'm wondering what's going on. Then I see him come running, and he's got a crowbar, and he's got like a big, one of these metal cutters. And I'm laughing. I'm laughing because I'm thinking, no way this guy's gonna bust the whole thing open. Literally it took maybe 45 seconds. I see the Pakistani guys opening the gate, and we all leave. And I got such a kick out of it because I said, okay, the police are gonna come in 2 hours from now. They're gonna think they have their whole line. And meanwhile, we're all out. Yitzias Mitzrayim. That's what I saw yesterday, and I'm beginning to think that it looks like the Eibishter has a lot of time when it comes to taking us out of Golis. What does this mean? But I'm looking for the guy with the crowbar already because You know, that's where I think we're holding right now.
I was privileged to learn with Rabbi Mengel this morning in Crown Heights, and he said that basically he believes that the Rebbe is getting so much hana from the shluchim that he's reluctant to give it up and take us out of Golis.
It's very hard for me to accept that. I think the Rebbe is. I think it's the Ebershter's problem. I think the Rebbe is beyond on our side and getting this thing finished.
I'm not going to argue with Rabbi Mengel, that's for sure. But, it's beyond. I need a refuah shalema. My daughter, I have a daughter who has 5 children, and she's undergoing chemo at the moment. And her name is Nechama Rivka Bas Fredel Sora. And I know Baruch Hashem Ruvain mentioned her at the oil, and I'll take all brachas, and it's a show we should just see and hear good news.
Amen. 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 Take it from me, Yad Mamish.
Amen.
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 So I want to share something that I came across that I was nispal from, and I figure, why not? It's a very short thing, so I'll just play quickly. And instead of telling it to you, I'll let you see it. It's from the Farbrengen, the Mega Farbrengen. You may have already seen it, but bring attention to it for a second.
Now, I won't tell the third story, but I'll just conclude by saying that the Marad Asr of Crown Heights, Rabbi Yaakov Shvei, Olav Shalom, was my Rebbe in yeshiva in 11th grade, and he taught me many things. But the one thing I will never forget was whenever you asked Rabbi Yaakov Shvei, whenever somebody would ask him, we would overhear, "Was macht der Rabbi Shvei?" He had a standard answer. You say, "Atog nenter zu Mashiachem," or he would say, "Asha nenter zu Mashiachem." And I'll never forget that. It made a very big impression. He was a Chassidish Yid. Who? What does it mean that today's Sunday? It's not Sunday. It's one day closer to Mashiach. And even though it's been 31 years, if we keep on remembering, and again, thank you to the Ma'arginen to remind us.
That was the nikud I wanted to share. I thought it was worth sharing. Atog nenta, asha nenta to Mashiach. An hour a day closer to Mashiach. If someone asks you how you're doing, it's such a good answer. Instead of just saying good Baruch Hashem, fine Baruch Hashem, how are you?
It would have been helpful for me. I'll tell you why. After Pesach, I met a certain Yid, like a yeshiva type of a guy. Balabas, he's a lawyer here in LA, prestige, and he used to listen a lot to my CDs when I used to put out CDs. I don't know, listens to few of them now, but he, we were connected from time to time. He would give me a donation. And he meets me in the store and he says, "So how was Pesach?" And I was then experiencing my post-Pesach, frustration. So I said, "Oh, Baruch Hashem." And he looks at me and he was surprised because, and he says to me, "Just Baruch Hashem. I thought from Rabbi Wolf, from you, I would hear Givaldig, this and that." And I was like, "Oh, yeah, it was nice. It was really nice, And I didn't even have what to say. I didn't say anything to him. It bothered me much because I wanted to call him afterwards and tell him that, Baruch Hashem, everything is Beseder, and it was a beautiful Pesach, and I had my whole family, and everything was nice. But I was expecting Mashiach to be here, and I'm still experiencing this post-Pesach down of Mashiach not have come. But that would be the right answer, true, Baruch Hashem, and now, but that's the story with the Chayz's clock, the famous story with the Chayz's clock. Is that the Chayz's clock was a happy clock, versus every other clock, which was a clock that set it closer to whatever.
No, that another minute passed that you missed the Bittul Torah.
Yeah.
Was that it, or was that closer to death? No?
Closer to death, that was the word. So what do we do with the crowbar? Oh, by the way, Aaron Isaac, I finally reached out to my father. Doesn't put you off the hook, but my father said he's going to reach out to this fellow. He's not the top. He doesn't run Torah anytime, I think, but he's very influential. His name is Chesky Kaftel. So my father's going to reach out to him. I gave him the idea.
Okay, great.
No,
Well,
let's see.
moving somewhere.
We
Anyone else?
didn't put our eggs in one basket at all.
Right. Yeah.
I think Arn Isaac is our crowbar.
Yeah. Okay.
I think this Minatzchim is the crowbars. Don't put yourself down.
Oh my gosh. So okay, I want to share something. We have Rabbi Ephraim Zimmerman with us over here, and he went to speak in Phoenix a few weeks ago for the girls at high school. And then I went the next week to speak to them. So I'd like to share something that they sent me to show you something. I think I mentioned it that I went to speak there because I told you that when I spoke to them, I started off by saying, like, you know, who thinks Mashiach's going to come before this Farbrengen's over? And I didn't expect them to raise their hand. And I said, who thinks Mashiach's going to come in 20 years' time? I expected older hands to go up, and the hands didn't go up, which was a real shocker for me because I was like, wow, there's a lot of work to do. These are Lubavitch girls, 9th grade. I would like to see every hand go up. 20 years from now? How could you live your life if you don't expect Mashiach to come 20 years from now? So that was a eye-opener for me. But after I left, and remember, this was 2 weeks, this is Rabbi Zimmerman and myself speaking to these girls about Mashiach. So I got a text message from one of the shluchos there who I know, and she wrote to me a follow-up because they would like to ask questions and continue to learn. So I'll read to you some of the questions that they sent me, and you'll see how I think it's so phenomenal that you can actually have an impact on someone that they should ask these questions. So it says, what will it be like when Mashiach comes? Expound on women's superiority during Mashiach. They want to know, the girls want to know, what's the superiority of...
They always ask the men that question.
Well, who else is teaching them?
Korach is, what's it called again, on us, and they wanted to rub it in. So we're going to be, it would come, be...
But it's a great question. It's such an important question for now. It says, what are the non-Jewish people's role during Mashiach? How will the world not get overpopulated? Will men be able to marry multiple wives? How many kids will I have? 6 really at a time? So just imagine they're thinking about it so realistically that they're worried about how many children they're going to have at a time. If someone gets remarried or his wife dies, who will be his wife when Mashiach comes, first or second? If someone committed suicide, will they have Tchesa Mesim? In general, does anything disqualify someone from Tchesa Mesim? How is it fair that the Goyim will be our slaves? What is the new Torah? What will we learn? Read in a minyan, etc. So those are some of the questions. She categorized it theoretically. If cloning humans were a thing and they died before Mashiach came, would they have Tchesa Mesim? Can you bring a cloned animal as a carbon? Will humans use technology in the Beis Hamikdash, robots? Should we let Zusha in? Fears. One girl says, I don't want to be immortal. Will we grow old? I don't want to be married to the same person for eternity.
Oh,
But all of it's positive to me because if you're thinking about Mashiach and you're concerned and you're happy, it's a good thing, as opposed to thinking about what's for lunch. Mashiach, the person. Why is it not clear who Mashiach is? Is it important for us to care about who Mashiach is now? And then finally, our Aveda, this doesn't seem like we are still in the 7th generation. How does it work? And then we want to deserve Mashiach, not that it should come by the year 6000. So if 6000 comes, we just lose our chances to bring Mashiach, to be Roi for Mashiach to come. I'm not posing answers. I'm just explaining,
Yeah. Interesting questions.
So when you mentioned the various different the shamans coming into different bodies, everybody knows the Rebbe's answer, right? The Rebbe's answer is that all the bodies will get up for one neshama, because in each time around it was Masakin, another Indian in the neshama. In other words, it expressed, it did the avodah of one Indian of the neshama. One time it was a Baal Chesed, the other time it was a Baal Chabad, the other time it was Isaac and this and that. And since the Rebbe explains how each Nekud in the Nefesh is a Kaima Shlema, So even though it was perfected during one lifetime, only one particular element, that itself has Rosh Teichen Soif, as a whole tziyun. That's the Rebbe's answer. So therefore, you can have the same neshama inhabiting quite a few bodies. But today I saw a very geschmack of Polish Taina. And when I say Polish, I don't mean like Polish Chassidus. I mean real Polish Taina, which is like Pshetlich. So there's the famous the Ostrovtzer. The Ostrovtzer, the Meir Yechiel from Ostrovtzer. And he was a genius in like drush and in mathematics and figuring out these like last things. But they're always so cute. It's like really, really interesting. So he's talking about the idea that it says that it says that we're going to be 100 ames tall, or going to be 200 ames tall. So he's going according to the Indian that we're going to be 200 ames tall, but it's going to answer two of your questions that you asked. When you say the Doira Shvi, how long is a generation? He asks the question, Bechlal, since there's only 600,000 neshamas, how are you going to have Tchias Amesim at one time for all the generations? How's the one the neshama is going to be? So he explains it based on the height of the body. He brings from Tosfos that it says that a person's height is 3 ames. But he brings from somewhere else that does not include the head. According to what it says somewhere else, the head is a third of an amma. If the head is a third of an amma, then you add together 3.3 amas is the human height. Now, if we're going to be 200 amas tall, that means that we are going to be 60 times the height that we're now. Okay, 60 times the height. So listen to this amazing cheshbon he makes. He says, he brings a Tosfos also that what's called a doyer. There's different opinions of what is called a doyer. How long is a doyer? But he brings from the Das Zakenim Mibala Tosfos when it says doyer Ravi'i Yoshuvu Heina, that a generation is 100 years. If the generation is 100 years, so he says, and since we say Shis Alfi Shnin have Alma, so how many years are there from creation until 6,000 years till it's 60 generations. So if every generation has the 600,000 souls coming down in the Yidden of their generation, so when we are going to be, so that means in 6,000 years you have 60 generations, and the height is going to be 200 amas. So that means that, and since our regular height is 3 and a third, so he says if you do that 60 times 3 comes out 200 amas. That means the bodies are each body is gonna contain 60 generations. So we're going to be able to have all the neshamas down in that one body because every person is going to be 60 people. That's his cheshbon. So that's how he gets because you have to have one generation that's every person gonna have 60 people inside of it. But then he makes another 2 cheshbonos, but he says that the more common understanding is that a doyer is 70 years. Which, by the way, if you say a doyer is 100 years, then the kasha is not your kasha because the doyer shvi started in Tafshin Yud, and it goes till what's the next one? Tough Yud. If it's 70 years, we need to get things moving over here because the 70 years was kind of completed last year. Tough Shin Peyal. But Al Kaponim, I'm just putting together 2 of your questions in his world of drush that he explains. The Rebbe has, of course, a very geshmak sikh on this Indian of if it's 100 am, if it's 200 am, and so on and so forth. Yup. The Bzusha is very quiet.
And Isaac, did you share that link?
Thank you for the invite. I
No,
thought that
Pamela.
the doyer is taller in the Rebbe.
Das is
By Yom.
That's right.
It doesn't go by days. There's the doyer from the Rebbe says doyer Ashvi. It didn't count how many years in the seas of every one of the Rabbeim were. From Avraham to Moshe Rabbein.
The
Goes by
Nazi,
the Nazi.
the Nazi is the generation.
The
He was
Nazi
mocked in.
generation.
He said he's Polish Torah. He's
It definitely was a Polish.
I nearly took it as a personal insult. Because when I came to Bruno hat man mich gerufen der polnische Dripke. So.
Now you have someone. Now you have someone to take over that position.
I was on a chat recently that was discussing Mendy about using the I think it's called a bolt cutter is the name, Ruben, I think technically of the you're talking about using the bolt cutter. So someone wrote, I think it's a pretty classic shot. I never knew that, whatever, but how does it work with tipach rucham and you know, brushing a kids, whatever it is. So the Rebbe said explicitly, I never knew this in some of the names. That's only before Avodas Habarurim is finished or something. Is that the classic answer? The Bechlal rushing, you know, Pulas to do Mashiach in historically.
Yeah, the Rebbe said it's a way past Kol Akitzim. That whole thing doesn't apply. I don't know if the Rebbe used the term because Avodas Habarurim is over.
Someone posted it. I think
maybe.
I think someone posted a text. It's the.
By the way, what was posted on the Minatzchim yesterday from this Avishai Pargan, and you posted it on Eye Opener today, Mandy. I saw the idea of this idea that the Europeans are starting to buy natural gas from Eretz Yisrael. It is such a cool idea. It's at the highest of the whole world, especially Europe, to submit, and that and for them to be able to open up a toaster or a microwave, or their light or heating is going to come from Eretz Yisrael. It's mamish. It's mamish. It's the tables turned. It's mamish geula. And not when we say that you're not going to be an oir lagoyim is nicht nor beruchnius, nor it's expressing itself. Begashmius mamish.
Which is much more. It's much more exciting when it's begashmius. By the way.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, and Isaac just posted it to Minatzchim. Shkoyach and Isaac.
They posted it yesterday already to Minatzchim. But
yeah, but it's an article in English also.
It's an article.
Ah.
But again, this is as an outcome of the war. You see?
Yeah.
Even more.
So, Reuven, where do we go from here?
We have to get a crowbar.
Yeah,
What do you call it, Ephraim?
bolt cutter.
A bolt cutter.
Yeah.
My brother-in-law is Yitzi Vale, so he's in 770. He's one of the hustlers around there, and so anytime someone has an unauthorized lock in one of the locks downstairs, he comes in with this. Yitzi Vale comes in with this bolt cutter. So he has one in 770. He's using it to take off unauthorized locks.
If we could borrow it for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
That's right. Well, no, Ruben said 45 seconds it takes.
Okay.
Something like that. It wasn't more than that.
Yeah. And Mandy, I'm in my Chavaras now. We had to get we're getting a new sponsorship for our parachas. So when we were working on the details, I had to think of what line to put on the top. Yeah. So when 5-ish Pevsner pays for it, he does V'ahavta L'Orecha Kamaycha, and there's Matoivu. I'm trying to think. I'll show you. I'm trying to what should I here my lights are off. I'm like, what should I a line I should put? I'm a Chabush design. I said, I could choose. Today I'm in charge. Whatever. We did
Wow.
the guy who sponsored it is Bernstein. I said, you care what I put? He said, it's about Mashiach. He said, Rabbi, he said, I trust you. I said, yeah, we discussed a little bit what it is. He paid $10,000 for it. So I said, but the Kabbalah name Mashiach Tzidkenu. I said, it's about welcoming a physical. He said, sure, Rabbi, go for it. So we have the Kabbalah. I can put Matayvu Elecha, Shivisi Hashem, Alta Gutta Zachin, but we need a little updated.
For our generation. Could you take a picture of that and send it to the Minatzchim? I think if people should see it and start make a trend. Shouldn't be any time for it, but.
Okay, well, but you can't write where it's from.
I got pushback today in the promotion. I wrote, imagine Mashiach arrives today. It's not the right time to miss the last meeting in Gullus. He wrote,
I saw that. I had the same thought.
he wrote the first of Geula. So it's not like I didn't think about that when I wrote it, but it's a advertising tactic. It was Reuven's idea.
Yeah.
Could you think of more positive words, Reuven? Yeah. Is Zusha on? I wonder about if we can get an update from
I'm still on.
the Mashiach office. Do you think it's Shaykh? Maybe you can ask and bring us an update or something. I just want to say, like, the Tutals is unbelievable. It's mamish incredible. They're educating so many
I want to ask
people.
you a question. They're producing tremendously. How is it at the user's end? Are people taking it, or is it just being produced? I really want to know.
That's what I was just thinking about.
How strong is it going? Is the stuff selling?
I think for some people it's up and down.
How would we know?
It's difficult to keep people's attention for a long time.
That's
why it keeps on coming up with new things. Now he came up with this Mendel Kaplan's daily.
Yeah, that's very nice. By the way,
he did it. Mendel Kaplan produced this a few years ago on his own, and now we got him permission. He allowed us to use it, which is a beautiful thing. So the numbers is difficult to know, but apparently there's a very, very high usage. I don't have an exact number. If you want, I can try to get it, but I don't have the exact number. But I am told that the responses are very, very powerful.
So first of all, how can we know? How do you really know such a thing, Reuven?
I don't know. No, he would know. I don't know how people that download it. I don't know how you would,
Did we get any feedback from the Sikha that went out, Mishpatim? To all the Shluchim? Did you get it? Did everyone get it in the mail?
Yeah,
I got it.
Yeah. But the fact that there's so much material that it's so easy to pick it up, and I've been studying with people, they say, what do you want to learn? I said, I have something to learn. And you can just go through it and understand it, and it's online, and it's so available on the shiurim. Maybe we can do an advertising campaign, that we could do that. A Minatzchim thing, to take what's already there and to get more people to see it.
Oh, where's it holding with the signing with the United for the Rebbe, Reuven?
That took a little nap, and it's no good. No good at all.
I was speaking to Sandy last night about it. Sandy was going to be on today and talk about it. You want to see if you can reach out to him? What's happening?
Yeah, I'll reach out.
Because yesterday I had a conversation with him about it, and he was going to discuss it today on the Minatzchim group.
Oh, by the way, I do want to share something. Ich bin nicht gerade auf dem Paisik in the Indianum that everybody should. But the women had a Lag Boimer video. I was officially the speaker, but I didn't even speak. But Baruch Hashem, they took a material that I spoke a while ago and they put it on as if I was speaking live. That's good. I'm happy about that. But I watched part of the video. They have this shlucha from Moscow. What's her name? She is Wilansky and a few others. I'm so impressed what they put together. That video is so powerful. Now they're just showing how their welcome Mashiach, that the women have a thing called welcome Mashiach. and that how many branches and it's growing around the world and so on and so forth. Or at least it definitely had a very strong pu'ula a few years ago, 2-3 years ago. I don't know how well it's upkeeping now, but it gave me a big chizuk watching it because it was very, very beautiful to see how much, if you're persistent and you go for it, and you did, and that they had such a, it's very special, very special.
Can you share it?
I'll share it. Yeah, it's very nice. And this Wolanski's talk she gives out with her. I don't know if you probably saw it. She wrote it up on the day of Yud Aleph Nisan, but how she went to get her papers, and then in the end, like the whole thing fell through all because she didn't put her signature. To her, it was a message from above that you can do, but put your signatures. It was a very powerful piece. But here she talks about it. I'm going to find it. Yeah, it's on YouTube. I'll share it.
Whatever happened to
There might be, I
translating?
didn't watch the whole thing. There might be some women singing Kurlisha, so I'm just letting you know that I don't know if the whole thing is appropriate to watch. So I'm just saying that because I didn't go through the whole thing. I just watched. Rifki Katz sent me which pizzas I should watch. So I was skipping around, just to for the.
YouTube has a thing called clips.
A disclaimer. What I'm saying.
YouTube has a thing called clips. You can take a clip of a video. Not all videos are available yet for that, but it's such a good tool. And Isaac, what were you saying?
No, they were supposed to. Who was supposed to translate? What's his name's book? Yonashel Mashiach.
By the way,
Who was working on that?
Who was working on that? Someone took that, and he said
Begun,
he was going to give it to. We said we're going to take people from the basement. Yeah, Begun. That's right.
No.
To check in with him.
Check in
All
with
these
him.
things. By the way, we talk about Koalisha. I came across in the Rebbe Marash's Amaymer, the Drushe Chasana. By the way, Mendy, you can share this with the girls. This you could share with them. In Chassidus state that now the Kala is quiet. But when Mashiach will come, the Kala will have a voice. The Pashtus, it means by the chuppah, that a woman is silent and the husband says it nukudeshesli. But Mesameach Chasam v'Chala v'Baal is going to be Aliyah Samalchus. Eishes Chayla Teres Baala Adarab. The simcha of the Kala is going to be even higher than the simcha of the Chassan, and the Krel Kala is going to be even stronger than the Krel Chassan, and the Chassan is going to be, drafted along with the Krel Kala. As I state in Chassidus and many memorim. But what I found unique in the Rebbe Marash's Maimer, he literally translates it that women will be allowed to sing, and he uses the term there. He says very powerful thing. He says now the woman's voice can be ma'odet to Yetzirah, and then he says the woman's voice, it's strong words. Then it's going to be ma'odet atshuka v'gaguyim lalakus. There's no Yetzirah. Very powerful Indian. Ladies, I think will be very happy to hear that.
Well, you have to tell them that, Reuven.
I don't want to put that out because I don't want people to say that you're about that episode Mashiach Shendu. They're going to start inviting women. This and that. So, it's going to be a new cantor in. But the Indian state the fetish and the Maimon of the Rebbe Marash. I can even pull it out.
Wow. Yeah, pull it out.
I think
That's
I've seen a
amazing,
sikha
it
from the Rebbe where the Rebbe says that the women are going to be singing when Mashiach comes also.
Kol Kala. Kol Kala. What is Kol
Yeah,
Kala?
but that's
interesting.
that was one of my things I shared when I was a chassan at the Sheva Brachas. So it's written somewhere. And Isaac, it's good to see all your brachas.
Yeah.
I remember you when you were that age.
Yeah. Montreal, when Camp Montreal was it?
And as you were my learning director in the Mamish.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I have a set of that Marashas.
Move back.
And I think the Drushe Chassan I don't see. Okay.
It should be on what is it called .org? No, Sfarim.org? No, what is it called? No.
Whatever. If I find it, I'll post it. I guess Shlomo Carlebach should let Moise Mashiach.